Ladies, pack your hoe bag.
Who you calling a hoe?
Pour up a drink and start.
That's a little kinky.
Hear it.
Streaming 24/7 across all platforms.
24/7.
Yes, sir.
Live on sayitloud.com. Lock it in.
Y'all keep it locked right here.
That I love it so much. It is another episode of Say It Loud, and today in my hot seat is the host of Bet the House podcast, Mr. Big Smash. Welcome, Mr. Big Smash. How you doing?
Can't complain, man. I'm living.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I wanted
that's the best part.
Yeah. Well, we hanging in there, right?
Facts. Definitely.
We're hanging in there. I think that's the important thing. I want you to tell everybody a little bit about Bet the House podcast. Let's start there so they get to know who
Bet
you
the
are.
House podcast is a podcast where we say what we feel, when we want, how we want. We don't put ourselves in a box. Bet the House is a podcast where you can be yourself. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk shit, but we also going to keep it real. And, you know, that's just been the basis of it. Bet the House is like the Wi-Fi connection to everything else that I'm doing. I got a bunch of shows, got a bunch of things I'm doing damn near something every day of the week. So I wanted my podcast to be a hotspot to what we're doing, and we're just all about having fun. We're going to talk our shit, but it's going to make you think at the same time.
So what are the other stuff you're doing? Because now I'm curious.
Well, I got a music podcast. I do the Bet the House Top 50. That's where I rank my top 50 podcasts of the week. We got the Bet the House Podcast Awards coming up.
Yay.
Yeah, I want to do awards for us. You know,
right.
For us. All these other awards be a bunch of, you know, they try to keep us out. So my podcast awards is going to be for us. We're going to celebrate us, everybody as a whole, as the world, not just one race, two races, the whole world. So we're putting that together. Thursdays, I got my Measure Men show. It's me, Jay from the Cognac Room, Morio, and Arce. We do a show specifically with men in mind. We speak our thoughts from a man's perspective. And then we also got the podcast debates. Instead of versus battles for the music, we have podcast versus battles where me and another podcaster, or not even just me, we'll debate. We'll go back and forth, and we'll you know, it's like a versus battle, but it's for podcasters. So, and then the last thing I'm really doing is I'm working on my my web series. It was going to be a visual web series, but for season 1, we're going to make it an audio web series. So you might hear some familiar podcasters come through and play us some roles. It's going to be real dope how we doing it. So I kind of wanted to have it like The Wire and Family Matters mixed together. I want to have that street gritty, but it's also for the family. So I got ideas.
Yeah, you got a lot of ideas. You sound like me. You got a lot of ideas. I do some of the similar things, but I'm intrigued by your podcast awards. Yeah. I think because like you said, there seems to be a lot of podcasters and a whole community of podcasters, but for some reason it's just like we all stuck in the same circle. It's almost like if you on, but if you're not on, you just stay not on, and then it's just like you're trying to lift each other up and you're doing the work, but yet you're just not, you're not getting. And then it's hard for me. I be hating. I ain't gonna lie, Big Smash. I be hating because I be like, yo, that's the same guest I was gonna have on, or I tried out.
I always say this. I had to take a break from collabs. I took a 2-week break from collabs because my whole season is based off collabs. It was like, yo, I'm dope. I don't really need collabs to be dope, but I like, my thing was they one of my homies was like, man, you really out here, you like a little podcast thought out here. And I was like, whoa. They was out here treating me like a $40 thought. Like I was on everybody's show. I'm on everybody's podcast. Who? I'm on it. So I was like, yeah, y'all kind of cheat me like a little cheap date out here, man. So I I gotta pick and choose who I'm affiliate with. I don't want to be a hood thought. I want to go. If I'm gonna be a thought, I want to be a thought out here in the world for the podcast community. So, I got tired of the same collabs, and we work with the same people, and we do all this. It's cool. So this is the time now that I get to spread out, get to do your show, and I never did this before. Like, we never collabed. So that's what I'm about now. But I'm gonna tell you what I see though. Anybody that pretty much do a show with me, you got like 10 other people now pulling them same people,
right?
And it's like, I like it. I mean, if it's stretching you out, do your thing. But it's like people see what I do, and then they try to piggyback off that. Like, you're not gonna do the same show that I do, so it's cool. But you can go grab the same people. You ain't gonna have the same magic that I do, because what we do over here is so different. And it's like, I see the same people, and it's like, damn, did I do a remix of my show? Because you getting the same people the next week after me, and after me it's the same people. I'm like, come on now. I think, what I think the podcast world lacks originality right now.
Right.
I don't think anybody's really doing anything original. Like, like, for instance, take the Dave Chappelle shit. When I tell y'all I listen to over 100 shows a week, 75 of them shows that I listened to in that 1 week was about Dave Chappelle, had Dave Chappelle. And it's like, we got to mix this up, man.
Right.
Like, that's why I waited. I waited like 3 weeks to drop my Dave Chappelle, because I felt like it's colluded. We all talking about the same thing. Yeah. And this is why I like shows like yours, because you don't really, stick to one thing. So I think that's the beauty of shows like mine, shows like yours, and a few others. We want to be original. It's a million. So if I listen to 100, just imagine how many more that I haven't heard was talking about the same thing. So it's like, we got to bring that originality back. That's what I feel like. We have to start having our own minds again. And when I was doing the podcast awards, it was supposed to be done in January, but the website is not finished, so I had to push it back. But the thing about it is, there was another podcast awards that just happened a few months back, and to me personally, this is not other people's opinion. This is mine. I felt like it was a money grab. I felt like you are charging these podcasts $35 per category they submit to. Okay. And then you're only choosing 3 or 4, and that's really not, I felt like it was a money grab, because no shade to the ones that they were picking, but it was like, this is the best you have to offer for this category. Like, no shade, but at the same time, I got to keep it real. I know a bunch of dope podcasters that submitted to this shit, and they weren't selected. And it felt like a slap in the face, because I submitted to something, and then the people that were in that category, I was hating, like, come on, man, these people are not better than me. Stop that shit. So what that did was made me go even harder. Like, all right, this who y'all think better than me? Cool. I'm finna take all their heads off one by one. And that's how I felt. I carried that mentality for the longest. Like, I didn't get mad at the other podcasts. I got mad at the people who wanted to know who the hell was picking these shows, because some of these categories, it was 3 or 4 people getting picked for the same categories. And I'm like, come on now. Yeah,
me personally, I don't submit to any of the podcast awards, because I feel like the minute you asking for my money, it becomes a business.
That's the thing with me. See, with me, it is a cost, but mine is $1.
Right.
$1 per category submission. It's not no ridiculous ass $35. It's a win-win for you and me. And most of the submission money is going for trophies, because I'm giving out real trophies.
For me,
real trophies. I'm not.
For me, talent is talent, and if somebody's talented and they got it and they're putting together a well put together show, their intro is tight, they're having their segments, they're putting in their commercials if they want to put commercials, they're bouncing off the energy is good, you walk away going, damn, that was seamless, I felt like I was in the room, then they did their job. I don't think I think there's two folds too. I think some people they're telling you to pay to join. I seen one where it was like $1,500, and I'm like, I know my show is tight, but you're not getting my $1,500 to enter.
For what? What did that 15 come with?
It's I don't know, just to enter into the whatever the category is to be thought of. And I was like, I'm not paying for you to validate who I am.
$1,500. Gilly and Wallow and Joe Budden and Fat Joe better be listening to my shit personally.
Exactly. And then I've seen other people do them, and this is also great, but it was more of a popularity contest. Like, okay, we're going to vote, but we vote online. And so now it's a popularity contest because, who can get the most people to go and vote right now? And I think that's dope in a sense, but I also felt like, well, damn, all my people is between 35 and 44, and they all got full-time jobs. Ain't nobody all on the internet right now.
Yeah, what I mean? You see, mine's is different. What I'm gonna do as far as judging, I'm gonna take 10 people that have absolutely no time. I'm not a judge.
Right, like a panel.
I'm not a judge at all. I'm gonna take 10 people that have absolutely no ties to nobody. They gonna listen. They gonna give their picks. It's gonna be 3 things that's gonna happen. The first round is going to be they're gonna listen. They're gonna pick the finalists. Then when they pick the finalists, they're gonna listen again. Then you're gonna pick from those finalists, because I think it's gonna be a lot of finalists. You're gonna pick the best, maybe 7 or 8. So it's gonna be two tiers to it. Like, you're gonna have 2 different winners for this category and 2 different things, because the way I see it is you can't put just a relationship podcast in a box by itself. You gotta layer that down. What kind of relationships are we talking about? So the way I see it is I see the popularity. I'm not doing the popularity. My thing is because if I'm already doing the top 50 and I get so much flack for that, and it's like,
that's a lot too. 50
when I first started doing the top 50, it was people in my inbox, okay, who the hell make you qualified to judge my show? Ooh. Right. And then by week 5, it was, yo, here's the link to my show. Check my show out. I wanna make this list. I want to see what it is. So then by week 10, it was like, yo, we are tuned in. We finna see what's to it. Everybody's hitting me like, yo, what was my spot this week? What was my spot? I gotta work hard. So it started to be like a real thing. And I felt like, yo, we got something. So let's run with that. Let's do the awards. Let's run with it. And I think that's what it is. Me, I love the podcast game. I do. Same. I believe people, this is a thankless situation. They don't thank podcasters like that because they really feel like, everybody has a voice and they're scared of that. They don't want everybody to have a voice. And I think the beauty of it is you have to have a voice in this world because we are the voices. We say the stuff. Podcasts is all over. We say the things that the world doesn't want us to say. They don't want us to have an opinion. They don't want us to have our own thoughts. So when I get behind this mic, I feel like you can't touch me. You can't stop me. I can say what I want. I can't go to my job and say what I want because I get fired. I can't go in church and say what I want because they'll kick me out. I can't go in public and really, really say the things I say because, they'll boot you out. They'll outcast you. On this mic, I feel like can't nobody touch me. Can't nobody stop me. You should feel like that. The other people out there should feel this is my domain. This is my house. I can say what I want and feel good about it. Now you might not necessarily agree with what I say, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, my voice is my voice. And if my voice can help somebody out here who's going through something, like on my show, I talk about everything. I talk about marriage. I talk about relationships. I talk about sex. I talk about money. I talk about culture. These are things that I have witnessed, that I have seen. I can't go tell your story because I never lived it. So I think that's what it is, man. We do this shit for fun. But at the same time, all the money that you invest into it,
Can we talk about it?
All the equipment you gotta buy,
Can
all
we
the
talk
hours
about
you
it?
spend editing, all the guests you gotta find, all the promo. Like, this shit is a full-time job. Like,
it's a job.
To them, it's
job.
play. it's played to the people that don't
Yeah, because they're
understand.
like, oh, it's just an hour of your time. And you're like, nah, bro, it took me how many hours to get to this show that you get at the end of the week?
Man, my Rodecaster Pro was $600.
I got
You
one.
don't-
That's my
you don't-
baby.
Man, you don't,
Oh my God, I love it.
And it's like, you know, they giving us more freedom and they giving us more opportunities to make money. You know, Spotify, now you can post the videos on Spotify.
Mhm.
I'm like, yo, and your videos count towards your plays. I'm like, wow, this is they really changing it up for us. So
Right.
it's like we got to just take advantage of it. But when I hate when people say, yeah, you're doing your little podcast, I see what you're doing. No, brother, this ain't no little nothing. Like, y'all
Right.
don't understand how much money it take, how much time it costs, you know. But
Yeah, no, I know. No, trust me, I know. I
Yeah.
know. This is my baby and I take it very seriously. But with that said, do you feel like the market is oversaturated? Because sometimes I have days where I'm like, yo, Karen, you doing the thing. You bitch, you doing a good job, right? I
Yeah.
have those
Yeah.
days, you know, or when somebody
Mm.
sends me a message and it's just like, yo, okay, you're dope. I listen to the show. Like those things matter to me. And then there's other days where I just be like, the fuck am I doing, man? Like, what am I doing? Why haven't I got where I need to be yet? So do you ever feel like the market is oversaturated, or do
Yes.
you feel like at some point them people are just gonna, and then with COVID, I feel like if you were in the podcast game before pre-COVID, it was a different community to
Yep.
me. And then when
Everybody
COVID
jumped in.
hit, it was
Yep.
like, oh, we all home. We don't got nothing to do. I got an iPhone. I got a mic. You know what I mean? I got my best friend.
I'm gonna tell
And it
you,
went from,
I fell out of love with the podcast game.
really?
I just got my spark back for it because I'm gonna tell you, I've been doing it for 3 years. I have dropped the episode every week for the last year and a half. I haven't took a break. I don't take, you know, my seasons when they start the next week, they start back up. I don't take
Mhm.
breaks. But then I fell out of love with it because it was no longer, you know, my safe zone. Because when I saw the community, everybody was dissing each other, everybody sneak dissing. Like I said earlier, everybody talking about the same thing. It wasn't no passion in it. I felt like a lot of people were doing it just to get rich, and they
Right.
wasn't doing it. I mean, yes, we all want to get money for what we do, yeah, but you can't come through the door thinking you're gonna get paid for this shit and boom, that's it. No,
Mhm.
I think I fell out of love with it, man, because I got frustrated. I felt like, honestly, I walk around with an S on my chest, like I feel like I'm one of the dopest that ever did it with this podcast shit.
Right.
And then I see people around who don't take it as serious as I do. They don't have the love and the vibe for it as I did, and it kind of hurt my spirit. Like, you know, so I had my anniversary and my birthday come up in the same weekend. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a break because I'm just not feeling it.
Mhm.
And I did that. I took a break from November 19th to like December 5th. I took a break, like no recording. I wasn't doing lives. I wasn't, you know, I'm very active on social media. I was real quiet. I make my little meme post like you, and then
Mhm.
I gone about my day. I wasn't doing nothing podcast related. And shit.
You okay?
Yeah. Hold on. My thing. I don't know. I hear you, but I don't hear you.
I hear you.
Okay, so it was like, damn, I don't want to do this shit no more. And I was like, all right. So then when I took my break and I relaxed, I was in the background. I was watching everybody in the background, and I was like, oh man, this podcast game need me. I had enough of this break shit. Let me get back to it, because it was like people started inboxing me like, damn, you all right? You cool? You
Right.
this, you that.
Where you
And then
at?
it was like, it's like I'm good. It's just I had to get that spark back. So
Right.
yeah, at times I do think it's saturated because again, I don't think a lot of these people are real podcasters. I don't think they
Right.
really have what it takes. And again, this is not shade. This is me simply stating facts. People out here don't take this shit serious. They think it's just as simple as picking up a mic and press record. No,
Mhm.
this shit, to some, this is a full-time job. This is life. For me, this is therapy. I get
Right.
on here because I fight the world every damn day. So this is me expressing what I feel and hoping one day it'll reach out and one day I'll be able to touch the world on a bigger scale. So yes, the saturation is because I don't, and the thing about it is, like you said, people got iPhones and they got you know, their best friends and they feel like they podcasters, and that's
Right.
cool. Y'all got to start from somewhere.
Right.
But I just think the authenticity of a podcast got to come from the heart. If it doesn't come from the heart, I really don't tend to listen to it. Like, one thing about me, I treat this like I do music. When I listen to music, I want to hear you. I want to hear your real story. So, you
Mhm.
know, Rick Ross, I felt like Rick Ross was the dude when he came out. But then when I found out what Rick Ross was really out here doing, and he wasn't really pushing the weight and getting the birds, and he was a CO and all that, it was like, I don't really want to
Right.
listen to Rick Ross no more because I feel like you lied. But I get it. A lot of rappers lie.
Yeah,
So it's
well,
like,
they sell a brand.
yeah. So in the podcast world, I don't want to hear you lie. I want to hear you. I want to hear your story. Like, and that's just how I feel. So yes, I think originality is not there. Pre-COVID, I had just got started pre-COVID. Like, I
Mhm.
wasn't even fully in the game pre-COVID, but then COVID fucked up a lot of my plans. I was gonna
Same.
open up me up a studio, and then COVID shut that down. I couldn't make trips back and forth to Chicago like I used to because that's where my other co-hosts are. They're in Chicago.
Okay.
So COVID did a lot for me. I'll tell you some of the things COVID did for me. One, COVID allowed me to spend more time with my children. It used to be I travel every 2 weeks to go see them, and then COVID hit, and then they changed how people can travel and move. And then when the school shut down, you know, I was able to get my kids for weeks at a time. I was able to
Right.
get them and spend more time with them during COVID. So that's the one good thing about COVID. COVID also taught me take the time and brand yourself, and you know, instead of paying people, I was paying people for the design my cover art and my logos and my videos and all this. COVID taught me to go to YouTube University and learn how to do this shit on my own, because in this game you're gonna have to spend money, true enough.
Right.
But if you can knock down some of the costs if you know how to do some of this stuff yourself. I'm not gonna say I know everything, but I know a good point of it because I took the time to study, and I'm still learning. I'm still studying. So yeah, COVID taught me, and then you know the Zoom, the StreamYard, they racked up on us because
Yeah.
this was the way to keep in tune with your people and do things like this. So yeah, but I know next year. I said next year my year. I'm
Yeah.
traveling.
2022.
Yeah, instead of doing StreamYards, I'm showing up to people's shows in person. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That's gonna be my thing. I said once a month, next month I'm traveling.
Yeah.
I got a new concept on how I'm gonna do my show. Season 9 is gonna be crazy because I'm in season 8 right now.
How
Season
long are your
9
seasons?
honestly, they go about how I feel.
Okay.
They could be 10 episodes, they could be 20 episodes. I never try to go more than 30.
Okay.
I always try, but now what I want to do is I'm thinking I'm just gonna do like how they do on Netflix. I'm just gonna release all my episodes at one time and call it a day. So I think that's the move I'm gonna go with.
Oh
And
wow.
somebody gonna hear this and they gonna use it, and that's cool. Whatever. But I feel like I'm gonna do
Drop the whole series.
maybe like 10 episodes and just boom, just drop it all at once. So now
Yeah.
you're getting, and the reason I feel like I could do that because I don't really talk about current events like that. I don't really talk about.
I don't talk about current events.
Yeah, I don't really talk about celebrity. I mean, I talk about it if it's too juicy to pass up, but a lot of my topics just be about everyday shit, everyday relationships. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm working on that. I'm working it out, like, because again, I'm trying to save time and how much, because this shit draining every week. So I started time management. Time management is key. So I started doing my episodes. Now I got like 10 episodes in the chamber. They already scheduled. They ready to come out each week. I ain't gotta,
do anything.
So it helps. Time management helps, because now you knock off maybe 7 or 8 hours a week editing and doing all that. So what it is I set aside a day and I edit like 2 or 3 episodes on that day. And I match them and get them all together. That way they already done. So I ain't got to do it. And then they're good to go instead of, but yeah, it's a crazy thing right now. What do you think about it? Do you think podcasting is it used to be everybody wanted to be a rapper or a singer?
I think everybody and their mama all of a sudden wanted to be a podcaster.
Yep.
So yeah, sometimes I do think it's oversaturated in the sense that because it's so accessible to so many people, and some people are like, oh God, well, you just need your phone. Granted, you and I don't use that, right? But some people are, I just need my phone and I'm gonna just get my girls together and we're just gonna or I'm gonna get my guys together. And so for some people, because it's so accessible, which is a wonderful thing because it made me learn how to do it, it also has now opened up the market to so many more people because of it. And I think that some people don't take it as serious. And I think that the people that don't take it as serious will eventually fizzle out. I think they'll phase out. I think they'll fizzle out. I think they'll be like, all right, I got to go back to work after COVID, or there's too much work, or I'm tired now, or there's nothing left to talk about, and it will fizzle out. I think the people that were here before, I think the people that are committed, I think the people who understand that it's not just, let me just sit here and record a conversation, but put a whole entire show together and produce a show. There's a difference between I'm going to record a conversation with my friends and sitting down and producing a whole entire show from beginning to end. It's not the same thing. People be like, oh, but it's easy. And I'm like, it's not the same thing. Like you were just talking about time management. All of my audio in my laptop and on my desktop already is set up with all of my if I should show you guys one day when I do potting and popping, I have all my tracks set. So my intro's on a track, my interviews on a track, my ad libs are on a track, my background music, my bed is on a track, my master is on a track. So I already have everything set up that when we finish this interview, I just drop it into everything. I could edit it in probably like 10, 15 minutes. And I put my intro, my outro, everything's already set up. My same thing, I'm moving to YouTube now. So because at first I didn't want a visual, because I just was like, honestly, I didn't do a visual at first because I wanted the show to be able to stand on its own without people seeing. Right. And as a woman, some days this is how I look regular, but I understand as a woman, you can get all dolled up and makeup and lipstick and look sexy. And I didn't want that. I intentionally didn't want that. My logo for my podcast did not have my face in it. And that was by choice. The original logo that you see does not have my face on it because I wanted the show to stand on its own without anybody seeing me, without anybody knowing who I was. I wanted the show to be able to stand on its own. And so I'm going to YouTube now, and it's the same thing. Like I'm editing myself, everything is set up. So I feel like the people that take it serious are gonna push through, and I feel like the people who it's just something where they're like dibbling, dabbling, and it's just a hobby or whatever. I think eventually it will fizzle out. It will fizzle out for them. That's my thoughts on that. I do think that COVID has changed the podcasting game. I like you prior to COVID was getting in the car and driving to interviews and interviewing people in my car and, showing up in places like, I got to get this interview. Like I was some kind of journalist or reporter or whatever. And then when COVID hit, it was like, all right, well, how do we keep going? And then it was like you said, looking at resources that were available to be like, all right, we need to keep doing this. The beautiful thing about COVID is that you could be in another state now, and I could be in another state, and we could sit here and we could have a conversation like this, where in the beginning, you know, a year or 2 years ago, I'd have been like, no, how am I going to do an interview with you? Like, you're not in New York. I'm not going somewhere else. So I think it has opened up the world. You know, I've had conversations with people in London, you know what I mean? Right. So I think to be able to have those conversations now and to have those people on your show and kind of get more reach was kind of dope. And that's really one of the things that I did learn from COVID. But your time management as a podcaster is critical. It's crucial. It's pretty much running your everyday life, you know, the kids, your job, your house, your car, your rent, your bills, your food, and doing all that stuff you normally have to do, and the laundry, and then working a full-time job, and then coming home and working for yourself. And I think that's what people don't understand about it. Like if you're not putting that work in, it's going to show. It's going to show in your brand. It's going to show in your product, and it's going to show in your end result, you know, and you know, you got to figure out who you want to be and how you want to tell your story and what message you want to give. And I think a lot of people don't do that. They just say, okay, I'm going to do it. And they're not really thinking about like how I'm telling the story or representing what it is that I want to say.
Exactly. And I think that's what it is too. It'd be a lot of ass kissing going on. Like a lot of people be scared to really say what's on their mind because they want to appease everybody. I've never been one of them. Like, don't try to water down my brand to please sponsors and everything else. I honestly don't do it for the sponsors. Like I can sponsor my own shit, you know, but at the same time, you know, when you open up the doors and let them type of people in, your show is no longer your show.
Right.
Like once you start trying to suit and fit for them, it's no longer you and it's no longer fun. So I had already made up in my mind like, oh, I'm going to do my show how I want to. And anybody that wants to talk to me, because I've had a couple of meetings, anybody that wants to talk to me about my show, you have to understand through the door that this is my show. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to water it down. You're not going to tell me how to do. No, none of that. Like if you want to promote and sponsor my show, you have to understand it's my vision. Because if that's the case, then, you know, why am I doing this? I wanted to be able to do what I wanted to do for me.
Right.
Like, you know, I'm not going to sell out to benefit nobody. And
yeah, I don't have that. I don't think that should even be a question with sponsors, but I think sometimes people think whatever sponsor comes along, I have to take it. Yep. Right. And it's okay in this business. And it's okay if you're confident enough in who you are to be like, because I've done this and people have been mad at me, but that doesn't fit with my brand. That doesn't fit with my show. That doesn't fit with my listeners. And it doesn't mean that what you have is not good. It doesn't mean it's not a good product. It doesn't mean it's not a good opportunity. It doesn't mean that you can't, like, I don't like your product. It just means, is this the best thing for my show? Is this the best thing for my show? Is this the best thing for my brand? And it might not always fit. There's people right now just letting anybody and everybody on their show. There's people right now who are just like, any sponsor that comes along, I'm going to take it. I have a podcast that's about relationships and sex. Why are you on here selling bread? You understand what I'm saying? Like, that don't fit my brand. That don't fit my listeners. That's not what they want to hear right now. So it should be in line somewhat with who your target audience is, and make it make sense. Otherwise, don't do it. You don't have to say yes to everything. Oh, I can't hear. I can't hear you.
We don't, can you hear me?
Yes.
We don't make our show for other podcasters.
Right.
That's what people get lost in too. Like, I don't make my show for other podcasters. Yes, I love the support. I love that you listen, but I don't make my show for you. You are not my base, and I shouldn't be your base. You know, yes, we are podcasters. We're gonna support. I support everybody. If your show is dope, I'm gonna tell you shit is dope. but I don't go sit in the booth and be like, oh, okay, let me think. What would they want to hear? No, I don't make it for other podcasters. And I don't, and honestly, you know, I see it and I'll be like, why do you care about what the next podcaster think? At the end of the day, that's like me. One thing about me is management came around for me and they would be talking all these good ideas. And it'll be like, yo, I'm basically doing this shit that you're telling me. I'm doing it myself. So I feel like if you can't give me something more than what I can do for me, it's not going to be a good fit. Because I'm very, very hands-on with my show. I mean, this is my project. This is my baby. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very, very hands-on about it when it comes to it. I'm always open for business, but the business has to make sense. And sometimes it ain't even about the money. I don't even care about the money. I mean, you know, we love money, but all money ain't good money.
That's right.
And I can't say yes to you just because you throwing a bunch of money in front of me. That's how a lot of these rappers and shit end up where they are, because all they see is money.
Yeah. And like you said, all money ain't good money. And if it's going to take away your creative control over what you're doing, then is that a deal you want to make with the devil? Because that's what you're doing. Like, all right, I'm gonna dance with the devil because this is what it's gonna pay me. And the reality is that sometimes it's not worth it.
Facts. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not doing it for nothing more than for the love of it.
Right.
I feel like once I lose my love completely, like artists, we do have them moments where we lose love for things. And it's just like relationships. You lose love for them and you're ready to move on and find a new challenge. So that's why I got so many other projects, because it's like, I want to do podcasts and I love it, but I'm a mixed bag. You gotta see what's from gonna come out like today. My brand is a little bit different. Like we do different things. I want to touch bases and do all the things that I love. I love music. So let's get a show about music. I love sports. Let's get a show about sports. I love wrestling. I love relationships. I love sex. I got 9 kids. Hey, so let's talk about all of this. Right. Why put yourself in a box and just say, well, hey, we're going to just be a podcast about love? No, you could talk about a bunch of things, because you know why? As much as the podcast field is saturated, the listening field isn't.
Well, yeah, you can listen to it much you want. When my podcast came out, a lot of people don't know this. When my podcast came out and I originally dropped my idea, it was going to be a podcast about everything. And it was going to have music. I've had a couple hip hop people on here, all that kind of stuff. And then this past summer, I actually took some time off. And I was like, I took off July and August. And I was, because I'm a teacher anyway. So I was like, let me take the summer off. And at that point I was booking so many guests that I had an arsenal of content just sitting there. You know what I mean? I remember one night, I have a 12-year-old son. I have 3 kids, but I have a 12-year-old son that lives with me. My other kids are grown. And I remember one night my son coming to me and be like, Mom, can you take me out today? And I was like, no, not today. And he was like, what about tomorrow? And I was like, no, not tomorrow. He was like, well, what about Thursday? And I was like, no, not that. Like, I literally had people every single day booked in, to the point where I was just like, yo, I can't do this to him. I can't do this to him. Like, I got to restructure how this is looking and how this is feeling, because every single day I was working, and I was in grad school at the time. So I was working, I was in grad school, and then I was running to the computer in the studio, I built a studio in the closet, and recording every single night. And I was like, yo, I can't do this to him. So I took the time off, and I really took the time off to recuperate and just feel re-energized. But more importantly, I had to think about the direction that my show was going. Because Save Loud originally came out, and like I said, it was saying all the things that people are afraid to say, saying it loud, using my platform to give people a voice, pulling other people up. And that was originally how it came out. But I tend to talk a lot about relationships and sex. And at some point, the show just took on a life of its own, and it became like a relationship sex podcast. And I had to step away for a minute and really decide, is this the direction that I wanted to go with my show? Like, is this what I want to be? Is this the brand that I'm, is this what I manifested? Is this really the direction I wanted to go? And then I came back and I was like, if this is what the people want, then this is what I'm going to do.
Speaking of sex, I just want to say for my fellas, and my ladies, when we want to come back and spin the block and get you ladies, we expect that vagina to be parked. We don't expect it to be driving around and seeing the car on several different blocks. We want the parked vagina. Park it and wait for us to return. Okay.
So you want us to park or put it in neutral? Which one?
No, we want it parked, like keys
parked.
Out.
It's just me sitting there waiting.
Yeah, just wait. And we promise y'all when we come back, it's gonna be worth it. We just gotta go out here in the world and soil our royal oats.
Okay, so wait, hold on. So you want me to sit in park and wait in the car outside in the parked car till you circle back 2, 3, 4 times and come back?
Bingo.
Is it crack?
Park pussy. That's what we call it.
Is it crack you smoking? Is it? Because maybe you could have gotten to believe that when I was 20 years old. I might have bought that shit because I've been a weak bitch. I might.
Keep your body count down, though.
At 43 years old, I would be like, Mr. Mans, if you don't decide if you want to circle this block or not, this car not going to be here when you come back.
We got to look for a parking space.
Oh, you better pull up. You better pull up because I'm not finna just be sitting here till you come back. Listen, my sister got a couple gray hairs. Like, I ain't got time for that.
We gotta find a parking spot. You know what I'm saying?
You want to keep your body count low. Women keep their body count low by lying and going to their ex.
Nobody put their tables and chairs and stuff in the parking spot and held it for us.
Listen, I will not be waiting. Like I said, if I was 20 something years old, you might could convince me of that shit. But now at 43, listen, I don't have that. We don't have time for that. The plane ticket's booked. You rolling or not?
As a saying, long as I owe you, you will never be broke. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you know this penis is coming home to you.
No.
Today, tomorrow, next week.
Eventually. Listen. No. I feel like that works with some women. Some women, because there's women listening going, no, bitch, you know it works on you. You do. Be honest with yourself. But there's also other women like me that are like, when you figure it out, let me know. But in the meantime, I'm gonna be cruising around the block too.
No, we don't need. See, that's where the miscommunication comes in.
No, I heard you.
We don't need y'all spinning the block. We gotta protect y'all. You know, we gotta protect.
But like, how long is a woman supposed to wait for you to figure it out? Like, I'm just supposed to be single, not go on no dates, not do nothing till you figure that out?
It depends on how the relationship ended. If it ended, you know, on good terms, it just didn't work out. We expect y'all to wait maybe about 6-7 months.
Bro, I'll be dead by then. Yeah. I'm not waiting no 6-7 months.
Now, if a relationship ends bad, I noticed that women and dudes be on the next ride the same day. Like, or
okay, so I feel 2 ways about this. I feel like if a woman or a man is on the next ride the same day, that person was either lurking.
I was just finna ask you that because when women do it, I know why men do it. We do it to there's a saying, to get over some vagina, you gotta get some vagina.
Well, to get over some dick, you gotta get on this. You gotta get on some dick.
That lets me know that dick been around. Because again, women are more emotional.
This is true.
So that dick been around, and they
say
women have a list. Women may not cheat, but they have a list.
That dick been circling the block and it pulled up and you kept going. So, you know, I'm going to jump out this ride, get on that ride. Because that one
list of guys that's waiting on the bench. They got the bench and they ready. All right, your number is up. It's time to get in the game. You hurt. Fouled out.
Well, listen, you don't even understand. You don't.
See, that's the problem. Like,
but how is that a problem?
We need you to park.
That's a problem.
We need you to park the vagina. Okay.
But why though?
And in the fairness of that, when we out here slanging, we not even thinking about them. We not even thinking about who we slang. We thinking about you.
No, because if you were thinking about me, you'd be slanging it over here. You wouldn't be over there. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like if you was really thinking about me, you'd be over here. We'd be on the balcony. You're over there. What do you want me to do with that? I can't do nothing with that. I don't have the patience for that. I don't have the patience. I'm not waiting for nothing.
And when he come back, he expect everything to be exactly how he left it.
Well, you know I hope that whatever he must have been watching WandaVision or something like that. I don't know, because everything ain't the way he left it over here. Like I'm gonna just leave for 10 years and come back. No, bitch. Like my titties is sagging. I got gray hair, and yeah, I got some mileage.
On that Music Soul Child shit. We'll love you till your hair turns gray.
Okay, but then you won't. If that was the case, then why are you over there slinging anything over there? I just don't get it.
I think it's more of a confidence thing for guys. Guys get in relationships and they feel like they missing something in the world. They missing something. So sometimes temptation will lurk his head around. Hey, you still happy in that relationship? That vagina still good to you? Oh, it's not? Come on out here. We got
I feel like it's not even if it's not. It's just like you want to have some fun. You know, you want to have some fun, because I feel like there's nothing wrong with it. It was fine all along. It's just like you want to have some fun. The devil's just like, you want to have some fun.
You know, the crazy thing about it with me was I would tend to go deal with women that like women, because I ain't got to cheat.
Maybe that's your safe space.
I ain't got to cheat. Like,
yeah, so you did that because it's a safe space for you. Exactly. You know that, like, bingo. Well, she ain't gonna be with no another nigga. So like, you know,
I never. Okay, and here's the thing. I never get intimidated by another woman. I never get intimidated by another dude either. But I feel like,
but you're not intimidated by another woman because you know what that other woman gives you can't give, and you're confident in what you can give. That's what
I'm not intimidated by these dudes either. But I think sometimes you have to look, because I feel like, yeah, you can't get too comfortable. And that's what I see a lot of too. These dudes out here be getting super comfortable and they feel like, oh man, that's my woman. She gonna do whatever. If I leave right now, she gonna park that pussy and woo woo.
Who the hell she ain't? Not if she listen to my podcast. No, the hell she ain't.
She come around and meet somebody like me, like not me, but somebody like me. Oh, bro, you might as well go ahead on and get ready to pack your shit, because these dudes out here, they got something to prove, especially in the breakup phase. If they know that they've been chasing this woman for 3 years and she finally becomes single, oh, this is my time, Chief. I'm stepping in the game. This is my audition. And by the time you come back thinking you finna get the park pussy, it's another nigga whose drawers is hanging in the bathroom shower rack.
That's right. He was outside washing her car, butt ass naked. You playing games. Like I said, when the girls is like 19 and 20 and they don't know no better, that's one thing. When we get to a certain age, ain't nobody doing that no more. Ain't nobody doing that. It's either you with it or you ain't.
This is why I like dealing with older women. I got married to an older woman. I felt like
how much older?
She is 4 years older than me. 5 years older than me.
Okay.
6. One of them. Anyway, the moral of that is I felt like I got tired of the young games. I felt like after a while you played them games so much. Like I had been playing them games since I was 16. So I was like, I'm 35 now. It's like, okay, I'm tired of playing the same dumbass games.
Right.
And it didn't take me long to realize what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? I met her. We got married like 8 months after we met. So
oh wow, that's dope.
It was like, because she knew what she wanted. You know what I'm saying? She didn't waste time. And it was like, in this day of age in dating, I'm pretty much not dating to next month I'm in another relationship. And in the next month I'm in I'm not doing
it's an
that.
investment.
Yeah,
it's an investment.
I did that shit 16 to 33. Had 7 kids come out of that. And it was like, even though I was with you and I liked you and I loved you, I couldn't picture even with my kids' mothers, one of them I was with for 7 years and had 3 kids. I couldn't picture forever with that because I kept lying, I kept cheating, kept playing games, I kept, I just didn't give a fuck because I didn't see forever. I didn't see it, and it was no shade.
So I gotta ask you as a woman. I gotta ask you as a woman though, who is single? Because I'm curious. At some point, I would love to get married again or have a life partner. We don't actually have to get married, but it'd be nice.
Single? I'm gonna tell you, these young dudes are not single. Don't even waste your time. I
just want to know, how did you know the difference between I couldn't see forever, and then here I was 8 months in, and I knew this was
I couldn't see forever because we had different goals in life.
Mm-hmm.
Her vision was not my visions, and maybe I played a part in that because I probably wasn't as supportive as I should have been. And then, I started drifting away and doing my own thing. So it was like, I love you. I love you. But if you ask me if we are going to spend forever together, I'm going to tell you, I probably don't see it like that. Because you have different goals and different visions. And then a lot of times dudes stay for the situation they're in. Y'all got
the children.
Kids. Right. Y'all got kids. Y'all just bought a new house. Y'all name on the lease. He's comfortable.
Right.
You're doing everything for him without the ring. Like, look at Jim Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ain't no way. He ain't
never getting married.
And she been around 15, 16 years, dog.
Yeah,
like,
it's gonna be like that forever.
If you don't know that you ain't gonna marry this woman in it's 15, 16 years.
He knows that if he wanted to get married, she would marry him. He don't want to. And maybe because of the same thing you said, who knows why? I think women are different from men. Men know when they're not gonna marry a woman or not. Yeah. Men know from the giddy up, like, I like her. She get pregnant. Okay, she get pregnant. She's comfortable. She's cool.
She clean. I can fuck on demand. I can ride her car. She give me money.
Yeah,
she take care of me. Yeah.
Like, men know, like, this is fun for now. And they got babies with you, ladies, and all that, and still know, like, I ain't never gonna marry her. Women, on the other hand, they don't be knowing that. They be thinking every single man is husband material. Yeah, every single man.
First date, thinking about marriage, thinking about who's gonna be the
and not every single man is husband material for you. It's not that he's not husband material. He is. He just might not be husband material for you.
Yep.
Right? He's capable of marrying someone. And he's capable of being the man that somebody needs. He just might not want to be that man to you. And I think that's the difference between men and women. Every man I ask, I've spoken to so many men, and they've been flat out been able to be like, I'm never going to marry her. And I know that. And women, on the other hand, think that every single relationship they in going to lead to marriage.
Yep. And you know what? I had done so much damage in my life that when it finally hit me on the head that playtime is over with, get this shit together, I was shocked. I didn't know what the fuck was going on inside. It just happened. Like, this woman changed the scope of everything that I was doing. So it was like,
she shifted your thinking.
Yeah, my man's described it as being hit by lightning.
Wow.
And it was like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. I was like, I usually dodge thunderstorms and shit, but this lightning bolt was one that I couldn't dodge. So it was like,
I love it.
I will get shocked by this lightning bolt again and again because I felt like this is the one. Like, you pretty much knew when you in relationships. It was a lot of my relationships. I felt like I had to carry the burden. I had to be everything. I had to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I was dealing with women that necessarily didn't want me. They needed me. And then I ran into somebody that didn't need me because they had their own, but they wanted me. So that was the difference. And that's why I couldn't see forever, because it was like, okay, you already feel like, you can get anybody you want. You need me because I'm here. You need me because I'm taking care of the kids. You need me because I'm doing my job as a father. I'm paying the bills. I'm keeping you right. Nails done, hair done, all that shit. I'm doing all that shit for you. You need that shit. You don't necessarily want me because any dude you feel like you can walk outside this door and any dude can do that. So you don't necessarily I'm just the simp for you at the time. And then it was like, okay, now it's time to necessarily find somebody who wants me. And that's all guys be wanting. Some dudes don't know how to necessarily handle being wanted because they've been used and played so many times. I was that
Can we talk about that though? Because
go ahead.
You said something that was really interesting to me. And I think we need to bring it up for women. We need to bring it up for men, but we need to bring it up for women as well. Do you think that a woman that has her own looks different and feels different in a relationship versus a woman that is looking for someone to take care of her? Because I think that's a conversation that we don't have enough. And I have mixed feelings about it because I'm one of those women that, I bring a lot to the table. I have a good career. I'm in the union. I got multiple businesses.
It feels super different.
Okay.
It feels super different. You know, a woman, and I might not be the only dude that feel like this. A woman who has her shit together, vagina feels a whole lot better than a woman who doesn't.
Well, she's very relaxed.
That's like women that tell you ain't shit.
Ain't no reason to fight.
Yeah, women feel like ain't shit nigga dick is way better than niggas who got their shit together. I don't know why, but women love toxic ass niggas.
They love toxic
and trust me, I was a toxic dude myself, so I know we always get the girl. I go saying we. Back then we always got the girl because we didn't give a fuck.
Right. I think women got to deal with that on a whole, because that's like you walking around looking for men that are toxic. Facts. Means that you're toxic, so you're attracted to something that you know that's not healthy for you. Y'all need to work that out. Whatever your mama issues, daddy issues, your instinct, you don't want a nice guy because you're used to not being treated nice. And then when somebody treats you nice, you're trying to punk him and say he's soft and all this bullshit because you're just so used to everybody abusing you. That's unhealthy. Facts. Go get therapy, deal with that, because you're going to continue to find the same type of person because that's the person you are. Facts. It's a reflection. You can't be like, oh, this dude toxic. You beat him up. Sis, you crazy. You toxic. You need to go work that out. And I think a lot of people don't take any responsibility for that and then be wondering why their relationships don't work. Like, yo, you're going after the person who you know is not good for you in a relationship that you know it's not good for you, but that's where you want to be. And that's great. Like I said, when you're 19 and you're 20 and you don't know no better, but when you're 35 and you're 40, you can't be acting like this. We grown. Anyway, back to women having their shit together. So you feel that women that have something to bring to the table treat their relationships and their partner differently?
I do. I feel like a lot of times women with their shit together have less of a worry. See, guys, I used to be the man that felt like I needed you, you needed me, and as long as you needed me, I had you. Right. You know, I can get the park pussy. I don't give a fuck if it's 5 a.m. in the morning. If I say I'm coming, I'm coming. Right. But whereas opposed to when you are dealing with a woman who is like that, who has her shit together, who necessarily doesn't have to answer the call for you at 5 a.m., you feel different. You feel different. You feel good. I mean, I would tell you, I felt good getting treatment and attention that I normally would be the one giving out. It made me feel different. You know, it made me feel like, oh, I am valued. I am appreciated out here in these streets because I knew gimme, gimme, gimme. You know what I'm saying? I knew gimme, gimme, gimme. Mm-hmm. I didn't know here, this is for you. Take this. I did this for you. I brought this for you. I made this for you. I cooked this for you. Like, I wasn't getting that. So, of course, it makes you feel like a king. And ladies too, when you get things that you, ladies, because I know a lot of ladies that are out here taking care of bum ass niggas, and then they finally run across somebody that takes care of them for a change. It's a different feeling. Now you want to invest. You want to do things you've never did. You want to go out. You want to hit the town. You want to go on trips. You want to build. You want to go put your name on a lease or put your name on a car note or something. You want to do those things because you know that this person has your back, it's going to be reciprocated. You
Right.
want those things. So I think, yes, absolutely. I feel like I'm gonna treat you better if you treat me right. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And to me, that's what happened. Like in the 8 months, I knew, like, okay, look, I don't want nobody else. Like, this woman does everything. She does everything for me. She runs the house. She takes care of me. She makes sure the kids are straight. Anybody that can take on somebody with 7 kids, oh man, congratulations. You better take advantage and treat them right. And to me, that was the biggest thing for me, because I knew that I came with a lot. And usually when you tell people that, oh, I got 7 kids, they run, because they feel like the more kids you have, the less money that you have to spend on them, the less money you have to date. So a lot of people got scared and intimidated by that. She didn't. So that was the beauty of it. Like, yeah, this woman here, I've seen this woman stand in the fire with me, and I like it. So as long as you're out here doing me right and treating me right, hell yeah, I'm gonna treat you better. I'm gonna fuck up sometimes. I ain't gonna sit here and lie and say, oh man, every day is perfect and it's peaches and cream. No, it's not. But I feel like if it's worth it, we gonna make it happen. We gonna change our ways. We gonna do what we supposed to do. And as men, that's all it takes, is for somebody to show us that you don't understand as a man. That's the hardest job in the world. It's to being a man in America right now.
Especially a better color. You forgot that part.
Facts. So, to find someone that goes through them struggles with you and knows what it's like, you can't write a better story than that. So you got to take care of that and run with it, and make sure that it is dudes out here that will literally kill to have a good woman, to have what a lot of these bum ass dudes be having. And it just pissed me off, because I be seeing the shit and I be like, yo, you got to do better, my dude. Like, I don't hang around bum ass dudes. Like my homies, my brothers, we all are comfortable where we are in life. We have families, we have good women, we do what the fuck we're supposed to do. And if one of us is falling off, it's up to us to hold him accountable and let him know, bro, get this shit together, bro. Like I was just telling my mans yesterday, he hit me up like, man, go get your girl, dog. But at the same time, make sure you're ready before you go darken her doorstep. You know what I'm saying? And we have those kind of talks. Yeah, we start to talk, man. You know how we used to be, dog. We used to be in these streets, man. I'm going back to the streets, and then you gotta be like, dog.
We too old for that now.
We ain't going backwards, dog.
We ain't going back.
We gotta look at what we trying to do now. And right now, we got kids, we got families. We trying to get stocks and bonds. We trying to change the world. We ain't trying to go back to the streets. The streets don't love us. We had our fun out in them streets. So absolutely, I feel like, a lot of dudes get scared, but I think once you get to realizing, oh man, this woman is a good woman. She do her thing. The sex is good. She make time for me. She pay attention. She ain't entertaining none of these other dudes because she too busy focused on me. A lot of dudes get scared, but they look back and be like,
that's the one.
I ain't never had this shit.
That's the one.
Genuinely, she don't give a fuck about what I can do for her. So that gets you, make you feel all different inside. Because normally, like I said, we are living in this day of age where women, yes, as my woman, I'm supposed to make sure you're good. You want your nails done, cool. You want your hair done, cool. I'm supposed to make sure you look good. But what it is there is more to the table than just making you look good. Can you make me look good too? Like,
can you make me feel good? Can you be nice?
Appearance wise, but in the inside, can you make me feel good in the inside? And that's what it's about with me. Like, can you make me feel good in the inside? Can you hold me to a higher standard and make sure that I don't fall off? Because I know me, sometimes I do get in my own head. I'm my biggest enemy a lot of times, I feel like, because I fight my own battles, and sometimes I be losing, sometimes I be winning. But this is where a good, strong woman comes in. And a lot of dudes don't appreciate that shit because they've never had it. And a lot of dudes don't grow. A lot of dudes don't care how good of a woman
I think it's the dudes, but I do think it's the women too.
Yep.
I do. I think that there's a lot of women that feel like, well, he's supposed to take care of me. And I understand that mentality to some extent. But at the same time, I also feel like you're supposed to take care of him too. And I think we lose out in a lot of that relationship in the give and take part, because there's a lot, we have a culture of women out right now where it's just take. We're never celebrating giving. We're never celebrating buying nice gifts for our man. We're never celebrating I rubbed his back or I cooked him food. We celebrate the taking part. Well, he has to give me money. And what does he bring to the table? And does he have this? And I talk about it on the show all the time, because there's women asking men to bring so much to the table. And then when you ask sis what she has to contribute, not just in the physical sense. Okay, but technically all of us born female have one. So what else you got, sis?
Facts.
What else
my point
you got?
too. Like, I be trying to tell people, like, I don't break my necks to go sit at everybody's table. I come visit your table, but you got to understand I got a table of my own. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I feel
Are
like,
you going to add to it, or are you taking away from it?
Vagina helps a thirsty dude. That helps a thirsty dude excel, because that's all they really care about. For me, it was about stability. It was about where do you see yourself in 10 years? What are we doing in 10 years? Where are we going? What are we building? Are we building a foundation full of brick, or are we building a foundation of clay? And I don't want the clay. I don't want the shit that's gonna crumble. At least when I know stone, it's gonna last a while. So that was the whole difference with me. I got tired of dealing with clay, muddy relationships. I didn't want that anymore. I wanted something that was gonna stick. And I wanted, if I threw it, it was gonna put a dent in the wall, and we over here and we painting it and we putting the plaster up and putting it back together. And that's the foundation I wanted. So that's what I went out and got.
Dope.
Is it always that easy? Hell no.
I love it.
Hell no.
I love it. I love it. I mean, yeah, relationships are hard, but I think when you know what you want and you find the right person, you're going to put the work in if you got to put the work in. And that's the difference between the ones that work and the ones that don't work, that you put the work in and that you understand and that you grow to a place where that's what you want and you're both committed to it. And then that's how it works when you're on the same page. And it's an evolution process. It took you to grow to get to that place. You had to be ready.
Facts.
You know what I mean? That's not something where you just wake up one day and you're just like, yo, I'm ready to do it. You got to grow into the people
a lot of days I don't be feeling like I'm ready, but I have to get myself ready, because I feel like this is what you signed up for. See, people always think once you say I do, that's the easiest shit. The job is now complete. Fuck no. That job, that's just that was on the job training. Before you said I do, was on the job training. The minute you say I do, clock in. It's time to get to work, young chief.
Yeah.
And you ain't never clocking out. You ain't getting no breaks. You ain't this is full on court.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's real.
You gotta really, really work hard. And I think that's what it is too. A lot of people get complacent. They feel like they get comfortable. They feel like I gotta. She with me. She in the crib. Now I can relax and now I ain't gotta do shit. But you gotta understand that, doing the same shit over and over again and expecting the same results, that's the definition of insanity. Expecting different results. Like, if I'm a lying cheat, she gonna still come back. She still gonna come home. Well, one of them days you gonna lie and you gonna cheat and she ain't gonna want to come home. She gonna get tired of that shit. So, and dudes too. So it's a two-way street, man. I just love when we come together. Let's take care of each other. Let's cater to each other. Let's spoil each other. Let's get lost in each other instead of it being a one-way street. That's it.
How do you make time for each other with having 9 kids? How do you make time for intimacy?
Well, right now only 2 kids are in the house.
Okay.
But
are they little?
They're twins. Yeah. They're 7. So
okay, they're big then. They go to bed.
But summers, Christmas, spring break, shit like that, it'd be a zoo. But at the same time, my oldest is 14. So, I think that's the unique part about it. We still make time. We have to, because you don't want to get so consumed in work You don't want to get so consumed in raising and dealing with the kids that you feel like this is all you're doing. This is life. This is
right.
just it.
And that's what a lot of people do in their relationships and in their marriage. And then they're like, I don't feel connected, or it's boring, or we don't have any fun. And it's like, you don't. And I teach this when I go out and I talk to couples, and I say, you got to prioritize the same way you prioritize getting up in the morning and going to the gym, you know, dropping the kids off, going to your mama's house and doing what she asks you to do. Whatever it is that you prioritize that's important in your life, you need to take that same energy and prioritize the intimacy in your own relationship.
Exactly.
You know, and it doesn't necessarily just mean it has to be sex. It just needs to be having that intimacy between the two of you, regardless of what's going on outside of that, right? Kids, work, school, the house, the cars, that's so important.
Intimacy is more than sex. You know, even if it's the little things, is watching TV together, you know, reading a book together, talking about each other's day together, talking about each other's goals together.
Play your mic.
Doesn't always equate sex, you know. I mean, the sex, those things make the sex better. You know what I'm saying? Those things make the sex better. If you are on a deeper personal mental connection, the sex is gonna really spark up some shit.
It's gonna be hitting.
Yeah, because now you're in tune. You know what this person want, they know what you want, and it's gonna be hidden. So yeah, I think it's intimacy in a relationship, in a marriage, in a friendship, whatever. It's very important. It's different forms of it, though. You just got to know how to navigate and make it happen. With 9 kids, we still go out. We still find time to do little things to keep us up. You know, we can't just have life. I work 60 some hours a week sometimes. So you got to have, even when I'm tired, I still have to realize in the back of my mind that there are going to be days that this person is going to want to spend time with you, and you have to just chalk that shit up because they do it for you on the regular. Right. She has dealt with 9 kids in the house by herself while I have had to work. If she don't deserve a trophy or some time or some extra intimacy from that she normally would get, I don't know what is, because I've seen her do it. So I'm all for just making people know that they appreciate it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I'm so glad that I got to have you on Say It Loud podcast. And then we got to chop it up and talk about podcasting and relationships. You know, people on this show love relationships. And you got to come back and visit me soon.
Whenever. I'm here.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Bet the House podcast is everywhere on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. We are Bet the House podcast 2021 and Bet the House podcast 2020 on IG. And if you want to find everything in one spot, just go to alwaysbetthehouse.com.
Yay! So alwaysbetthehouse.com, Bet the House podcast. Make sure you like, love, subscribe, and tune in. And thank you so much again, Big Smash.